evening, everyone. Today is February 3rd. It's currently 6:03, and I'm calling the Finance and Facilities meeting to order. This evening, we have from Board of Ed, Beverly Washington, Adrian Johnson, Jay Whitloff online, myself, Jen White. From the staff, we have Superintendent Susan Austin, Rita Parchiak, and Sam Kilpatrick. Thank you, everyone, for attending the meeting. The first order of business is to review the December 1st meeting minutes. It's attachment 1. If there are any comments? I don't think we have to vote, right, on these?
There's no for that thing here.
Yeah.
The minutes are approved.
Yeah, and, oh, you weren't? Yeah, you want to abstain? Okay, so, hearing no comments, the minutes are approved with one abstention from Adrian Johnson, who was not part of the Finance and Facilities Committee at that time. The next item on the list is to establish finance and facilities goals and expectations. We don't need to complete this tonight, but we can throw out some ideas, and as a team, we can develop the goals of what this, or what this committee is focusing in on. I did have some ideas, but I would like to hear if anyone thought of any. Either for finance or facilities, and there is no wrong answer. There is nothing. This is us as a team, like deciding what expectations we have for ourselves, and basically as representatives for the board. Anyone from staff or?
You start. Do you guys have your mind?
No, perfect. Thank you, Rita.
So my thoughts are that I keep you up to date with the current budget and where we are as far as balances. I'm used to bringing financials and budget transfers to the Finance Committee first before they go to the board, so that questions can be talked about and explained, and then the transfers go to the board for approval. So that's what I'm used to, but, I'm just throwing it out there and letting you know. I really think we should get in a routine of bringing, the financials to you first, but that's just my thoughts.
Perfect.
So that you guys are aware of where the budget stands, the current budget stands, and any budget transfers and things that I'm overseeing on a daily basis.
And that's kind of how we've done things in the past, too. If we get in the right rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
To get it talked about here and then bring it to the full board.
Anyone else?
Good ass, Jay.
Jay? You have his hand up?
Yeah.
So, Rita, thank you for that. Sam, did you think of any for facilities?
Yeah, I would just saying stay up to date on facility matters so that we continue to maintain a safe, clean environment for our teachers and students. Staff and students, I guess I should say, not just the teachers. We want to make sure everybody's safe and healthy.
A lot of things are being done at Fitch High School today. They were checking off some things on that tracker. So they were getting into the bathrooms, they were checking on everything.
Oh,
So that thanked them for us.
Perfect.
We stopped in every one.
You checked everyone?
Yeah, I really had to go.
So, thank you, Susan. Did you have anything? Or
No, I think it's a good place a sounding board here. Even for matters that I can bring forth, whether it's grants or things that we can talk about to get the board's insight in the small group and then bring it to the big group.
Perfect.
I'd like to keep that maintenance tracker going so we can keep track of where we are with maintenance issues.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, from the maintenance standpoint, the tracker is great, and then if there's larger maintenance issues or equipment issues or things like that, like I personally think it'd be great to have a list, because we have a lot of things that are just part of the everyday, but then we have things where we need to replace, items like the plow truck we know about. I would love to have a list of things like that, so we know kind of what the needs are, and then we'll know what the needs are over the next couple of years going forward, so we can kind of plan out. I mean, I know some things will be CIPs, some things will have to be in our budget, but that way we can at least, kind of plan on things. And yeah, I think going over the transfers and stuff in this meeting is great. If we have questions, it might help direct the conversation in the regular board meeting. And then there'll be notes, and obviously board members probably still have questions, but maybe we can make that meeting a little shorter.
Yeah, just in essence of time, I feel like they should be reviewed here. Because there's going to be a significant amount for the first year or two, just because everybody's still getting used to moving money and putting it in the right place.
Yeah, I'm totally for that. Like, if we vet something out, we come out as a team, or like as a committee, basically stating we support this recommendation, and then hopefully give like a 2-second, like, for, and then hopefully the board takes us as a committee and respects that, and then just saying that, like, yeah, we approve, and then just, like, accept that so that we don't need to regurgitate everything, I guess. So I did have some ideas myself I'll start with facilities. So facilities, which is really funny, not funny, but it's good that, Sam, that we're on the same level, because the first thing on mine was safety and ensuring safety. So I'm glad that was like the very first thing you said, because that was the very first thing I thought of too. Ensuring that, like, our buildings are safe, secure, whether it's like snow or grass clipping, whatever it may be. So safety. Maybe we could put a tracker together, I know we were going to install, certain things, so we could just review, like, different safety protocols, maybe like once a year. And it also as part of facilities, in time identifying, like, potential capital projects so that we could have it on the list and these are all up for discussions. These are just ideas, and you might say, like, no, we really shouldn't do some of the things, but, like, identifying items where it could be potential capital projects so that we as a committee can start recommending it to the board and then start socializing it with town council and RTM throughout the year, like when Susan goes to their meetings. I would like to, and maybe you already have it, like a long-term plan, like for 5 years, like let's put something out there for 5 years, and then similar to like what Anne Marie developed, but not as comprehensive. It's just like a 5-year plan, like, hey, like, we're going to need to replace the roof XYZ or somewhere, just so that we could think about things in the future. We already discussed the maintenance schedule, and maybe just inventory-wise and trying to reduce some of our storage stuff. So those are remove the junk.
Junk? We don't have any junk.
So those are some of the things.
Maybe junk to you. Somebody else's treasure.
I have tons, don't worry. But so those were some of the things that I've thought about. Like I said, we're a group, so we can discuss, some of the ideas that I threw out.
Jay is his name.
Oh, Jay,
Perfect. Before I continue on to finance, if you have any ideas for goals or expectations.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was tied up when you called me earlier, but with regard to safety, I'm wondering if maybe our committee could review the minutes of the district safety committee meetings to see if there's anything that we should be aware of in those. Obviously, we would redact anything with regard to security that we don't want publicized. I don't know how often they meet, if it's monthly or quarterly. Maybe we could review those minutes occasionally and see what the issues are.
Quarterly.
Quarterly.
Perfect. Anything for finance, Jay, before I share?
No, nothing at the moment.
Perfect. Okay. So like I said, these were just some of the things I thought about for finance. Monitor financial performance, which you had already said. Obviously, develop the budget. You know, I feel like we need to give guidance on, you know, and work with superintendent and stuff to understand, like, okay, direction type of setting. And then
What does
just...
that mean exactly?
So instead of just telling them to, like, hey, like, start off the budget and be like, we discussed with the board, right? Like, to say, we want to focus in on early education. So as they're developing their budget, they can try to invest more in early education. Or, you know what I mean? So it's almost just providing guidance of, like, they're telling us, like, where they think the need is.
Okay, I think we did that in committee of the whole one time. That
Yeah,
I asked the board, you know, what they wanted to see in the budget.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So that would be a committee of the whole.
Committee of the whole, okay, yeah, no. So, and then just, this is more of a goal, is increased transparency, which I feel like is, it's happening already, but with that, keeping in focus, because I feel like that's where some of our challenges have been with some of the bodies that provide funding for us, because they get a binder once a year, you know. So as long as we can share information, make it as transparent as possible, and even just going through the monitoring the performance, that's increasing transparency. So that's just like a goal. And read it. Sure.
Do we, one year, I think it was last year, Jill Russ asked us if we put some financial stuff on the website, and do we share it quarterly with the town council?
Well, I know
I
that
could look at my,
our financials get, because they're embedded in our meeting, that is posted by the town. So to me, that is our, posting. I'm not sure if we have to separately send it to the quarterly to the town council, but we can. I mean, I've talked to Joyce about this. It was a few months back, but at least quarterly they can get, but the financials. But it's like we have it in our meeting, so it's available to the public, because you're right, it's supposed to be available to the public. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm not sure if we have to formalize it,
I'll find out.
because we would just
But she did state the charter. I'll send it.
No, I do remember this conversation, and I spoke with Joyce about it, that when she's embedding it and when she's making it available, it's available to the public. So to me, it's available to town council. But if we have to formally give it to town council quarterly, then we just need to, wrap that up. That's all.
I think it'd be good, in my opinion, to formally send it to them. I don't know how you did.
I need to think about it.
Okay.
And what about the,
But-
Because that's going to help us too.
Yes,
if they
that is
get
gonna
all
help
the
us.
financials.
what about the RTM?
Because you're talking about transparency.
Transparency, yep.
What about the RTM?
So, I'm just saying Jill, because she was on the, and she sent me all the chart, I think it was a charter, a state statute or something.
What's her name? Jill?
Jill.
Rusk, R-U-S-K.
Yeah, she's now the mayor of the city, but she was the town council.
Oh, she was on the town.
Yeah.
And this is just in support of you, Rita, as the finance committee as well, like, we could support you, any questions on, or if you just want to use a sounding board, like any internal controls, audits, risk management, any thoughts that you might have, or that's what we're here for, right? To bounce ideas off of. I'm not going to tell you how to do your job, but if you want to ask to say like, hey, I have 10 controls in place. These are what they're at, what they are, whatever. It's just there for for you as support. So we're basically a support organization as the finance and facilities. At least that's how I always viewed, like, when I used to sit on other boards, being like in a committee, we're like supporting the administration. And then what I did notice, because board reporting, but training for new board members. I know we send them to the CABE ones. Maybe we as an organization can take one of our budget books and maybe just like educate, like we as a committee, maybe it's the chair, if there are any new members who come in, or that we sit down and we walk them through it so that they get a good perspective of like, okay, because this is one of the bigger items that we as the board, so we need to give like training, whether it's the board or whether Rita, if once you're fully staffed, if you want, like your second in command person to like walk through the budget or whatever it may be, we can decide as a board, but I feel it's very important as new board members come in to get trained, and to be honest, even if you're a returning board member and you want additional training, I think that's important. So it should be open to everyone. So those were some of the ideas that I had for, expectations of what we can provide and then what we need. So we're working as a team. We're working as a team here. One of the things, too, is setting the agenda, which I did a big oopsie because I did it all on my own. So I will admit that, and I will promise to make sure that we work with everyone here. So that's some of the ideas that I had. Like I said, we don't need to vote on all of these tonight. It's I'll put it back on the on the agenda for next month, and then we can see which ones we want to adopt as a group, right? And then we will work towards that, and then we can measure ourselves at the end of next year. So, and in the meantime, if you come up with other ideas, please share for our next meeting. Does anybody else have any other comments?
I think they're good ideas.
Thank you. So with that, we're moving over to the Director of Finance for a finance report. As you can see, there is no financial report here requested due to the budget. So I just wanted a quick update on some of these items that are listed.
So the unpaid mail balances, I have copies. Unfortunately, I just got them from Arnie. I can send them around.
We'll make sure Joyce attaches it so then the people online can see.
So it looks like it's 42,000, but I do have to ask if this is cumulative because we have not paid the FY25 balance because we wanted to pay that with the non-lapsing funds because it is related to last year, in my opinion. So once those are released, when the audit's finished, which I'll talk about next, then we can pay Ernie's unpaid balances for last year. Does that make sense?
I did talk to Heather Summers, but her assistant called me, and she said they have some good ideas about fundraising, and instead of a GoFundMe page, she uses an antidote link, and she said that means that all the funds go directly to the fundraiser. So, she was talking about connecting with the Chamber of Commerce, doing a party down in Mystic, but getting the word out, and then being able to have people donate. So I talked to Ernie a little bit because he, I think it was last year or the year before, had connected, and he had done a fundraiser. They did like a farm-to-table dinner, and then also added, a place where people could donate for unpaid food balances while they were there. So Ernie and I had a conversation about that, too. So maybe do something in-house like that and, get people out that, and send the message home that people are still struggling. And, certainly here's a link. If you're a family who might need this going forward, please fill out the form. But for all those unpaid food balances, for, people who have struggled, we're going to be doing this fundraiser. And, they can donate directly. Now, I said I had to talk to Rita, and I don't think I've had a chance to even tell you this, but maybe we can look into how we would set that up, and if we can, and how that would work. So.
Yeah, because that's one thing Senator Summers wanted to know, how we were going to set it up and how it was going to work, and then get back to her on that.
Your CASBO group might have even had something like this. I know they were talking about it, and they didn't want to go down the path of, a credit collection
Right. No,
company.
none of them
None of
have.
them did. But maybe they've gotten creative. I mean, they probably have the same problems we have across the
They
state.
do.
And Kate didn't think it was such a good idea either to go to collection agency. But is this 42,000, is that from September to now?
Well, that's why I have to confirm with Ernie, is this,
Well,
I
it has
feel
to
it
be
might
for
be
Fitch. Fitch
cumulative.
they were a CEP school last year, so they didn't have any debt.
Oh, okay.
So that full amount is there for,
Weren't all the schools but one?
no, both Northeast and Charles Barnum. Charles Barnum, the kids get TRICARE. I say this all the time. They don't get Husky benefits. They don't have SNAP benefits, so they're not
Yeah.
autopilot. They can't get this program, unfortunately.
So this number for Fitch is for September to now,
Yep.
and the same for Northeast Academy?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the full year. So we might have another balance due, too. And I think you were thinking about non-lapsing funds, right?
Well, definitely we have to pay FY25, because that has to be paid by the board to Ernie to satisfy that debt. So, but I wanted to use the non-lapsing funds because I don't have a line item in this year's budget. So, once we get the access to that funds, which is right after the audit, according to the town, we can cut a check to Ernie and move the funds over.
And maybe if we get some of these fundraising activities. We had a parent who was, I think, a grandparent. I think her kids had already graduated, and she brought, a couple times she came up to central office with over $1,000 check, to give to Ernie for the balance.
I mean,
So-
I can definitely talk to Clint about how we can set up something electronically that goes right to the food service account, Because that way, we have a lot of online payments, but some are Chromebooks, some are and it is hard to differentiate if it's not going directly to a certain fund. It's a lot of manual work, so I'd like to be able to not have that manual work, and you can definitely, I'll talk to Clint about the program that we use for the other online payments.
And I think Senator Summers wants it to go directly to
Yeah, that's what will happen.
Yeah, yep.
So once you find out how you're going to do it, you'll get back to her? Okay.
Yeah, we'll work that out together. And then, then she wants to be able to talk about what are those things that, she could possibly do, you know.
Do you have like a timeline, like, okay, you want to be to a 12 by next week and figure it out?
We'll probably talk this week,
Okay.
yeah,
So
while it's fresh in the mind.
I'm so glad that we're like thinking of ways, right, to pay this, but how are we gonna like start minimizing it? So if this is like 4 months, 5 months, just at Fitch, right? That's like 7,000, basically a month, right? So how many meals is like? I guess I should have done that like in my head before. How many meals is that like every day? Like how many students is like, you know, like this is like really, is it like the entire school or what? Because $7,000 in a month, and I think the meals are like $2-3. Is it?
Yeah, probably more like
Yeah.
3. 3
Yeah,
something.
we can't keep doing fundraising.
We can't keep doing
No.
fundraising. We need to
something.
think of a way, like, yes, it is good to help, it is good to be able to cover our debt, but also at the same time, there needs to be accountability and responsibility. You know, I know debt collection is not an option or like not the preferred route, right? But when Ernie was here last time, he said it's not just families who can't afford, it's families who can afford and choose not to. So that really, I know, we as a, I don't know how we're going to solve it, but we need to figure out and help Ernie try to figure out how to like minimize this and start having it go down. I don't know if, like, with the October 1st responses this year, if some of these schools, with the exception of Charles Barnum, right, but Fitch and Northeast Academy, if they're going to end up becoming,
CEP-able.
yes, I don't, Adrian?
Well, I was just going to, I just did the math really quick. So we just had 90 days of school. If we say, well, maybe it's 270 for lunch, so it's 10,000 meals, it's 110 meals a day. And we have roughly 900 and something students at Fitch. So we're talking about 15% of the kids. I mean, some kids aren't going to eat hot lunch, so it's not like half of the students aren't paying.
Yeah.
It's 15%.
15%.
Something, you know.
Okay.
But even 15%, we can't keep going with this debt.
No, I agree.
We have to figure out a way, I don't know, how to get
I think
families to pay.
encouraging them to fill in those forms and really finding out what our true free and reduced lunch number is, because we just slipped by a few percentage points so that they were no longer eligible for CEP. So if we really can collect that data, like we do for impact aid, and, you know, that would be the best, because that could be a chance that we could have the CEP.
And how would, who would, you said collect data, so who would do that?
So it's a community effort. So Bernie's team all does it. We have them during open houses in the beginning of the school year. When people enroll new into our school district, we pass them out then. So, you know, it's everybody kind of all hands on deck trying to get the information out to parents.
Remember, Susan, we were at the legislative breakfast, and we brought up unpaid lunches, and would the legislator consider having free lunches for everyone? And they said,
No.
no, they don't even think that could go through, because some people think that the kids waste their food, and why are we paying for kids that waste their food? And so, not unless we can go up there and lobby for that, I mean, but I don't know what else we can do with it. Get families to pay for these lunches.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So at least let's, for next time, we'll focus in on fundraisers, satisfy or like answer most of Heather's questions to see. And I'm not sure if Andre or
Dan.
Also, so that like it's a combined effort between like the representatives and senators of our area, and
So let's think of first, let's pay our bill. Once non-lapsing fund it has been released, we'll potentially do a fundraiser, get everything that, or whatever, and then definitely come up with ways to help Ernie to try to just start minimizing and truncating this, or getting people moved on to filling out those forms. So, okay.
Jay's got
Oh, Jay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I know we don't have the numbers tonight, but I would be interested to know, in addition to the 15% that are unable to pay the bill, how many are on free and reduced, so that we can get a complete picture. And I know you don't have it at your fingertips, but if Ernie, we can determine what that number is.
Great. Thank you. Rita,
Are we all set with that?
are we all good? I think so.
So, an update on the audit. So we're still emailing back and forth daily with the auditors. We're really close. We have a couple more entries that we're working on, but the deadline was extended to February 28th, and I'm 100% sure that we're going to make that deadline. So I'm not sure, like what else you guys want to talk about, but I'm glad that it's almost done. Next year will, in my opinion, will not be this long because, I'm working with entries that I didn't post. So now that I've been here for this whole year, and my staff as well, they're all new. We're all doing the entries now and making backup, online. Everything's electronic as far as the documentation, so it's much easier to get a hold of. So I have a meeting with them, an on-call meeting with them tomorrow to go over a couple of the entries. And like I said, it's going to be done soon. I'm really excited.
Now, when you get the report, Rita, will you go over the report with the board? Can we put it on the COW meeting?
The auditors can. The report is the town's. It's not ours. We have a tiny little piece in it,
Yeah.
right?
Whatever pertains to us, can you?
But I feel the auditors need to do that because.
I already asked John.
You asked John?
I asked John, and he said he was okay with it. He would send an email to the auditors, and they said no, they would not come to the board meeting. I said they
Yes.
did that. Does that to you, Susan?
It sounds
remember.
familiar.
I remember you asking about them coming to the board meeting, but I didn't know there was
I'll
an
send
email.
you I told me the response I got from John. They responded no. It was the town's request to do the audit, and they're only going to report to the town. And the only
But we
answer-
paid for half of it. Like, I'm a little confused about
I
that.
can talk to John about that further, but
We do pay for half
We
of it?
pay for, our portion is $47,000 of their
We
bill.
pay $47,000 for the audit?
Well, that's what they told me the budget for next year, so I haven't gotten the bill for this year yet. But,
well, you know what? That's something when we talk to them via Zoom, we can ask them personally. Right?
yeah, I'll be talking to, I'll be actually talking to the head of the audit tomorrow.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Stephen, because Brianna is my first contact, and then Stephen gets involved if we still have to wrap up an entry for the compensated absences, which is vacation time, sick time. It's a huge entry, and we want to make sure that we're following the new GASB 101, which is a new standard. So anyway, I will be talking, I can bring it up tomorrow with Stephen. I'm not saying it's unusual because I typically get the audit from the town when it's finalized, and I give it to the board members. If you have questions, I don't have a presentation to make because it's just, it is, it's that they reviewed the audit and their opinion, right? So I'm not sure what I would present to you.
Yeah, because we could read the opinion.
Yeah, the opinion,
That's like the first
the
thing.
management letter, you can read it.
Yeah.
Well, the last one, last year, they didn't even have any recommendations. They didn't, it was just,
I did read it before I applied for the show. I mean, that's what you do, right? I looked at your budget book, I looked at the audit, it's just something that,
Yes.
typical finance directors do. But, yeah, so we can talk about it. Like, I do pass it out when I get them, and we can talk about our finance and audit committee, if you guys have questions. But, yeah, Bev, you're probably right. I mean, the auditors probably don't come to the meeting, but I'm just a little shocked because it's not just the town paying for it.
Yeah.
They're doing our audit as well. They do the audit of our grants. They do an audit of our internal controls. So they, the Board of Ed is part of that.
I would think
bulk.
we're almost a bigger part than the town.
They keep
In the
pointing
city.
that out.
We are.
I've
We
got
are a bigger
1,000
part, and
employees.
I
What do they
believe,
have?
I believe it,
100?
I think their side with capital projects may take time, but our side is definitely bigger, and we have more complexity in our grants. So I do think that they spend more time with the board side, because we also have the EFS, which is the state report that gets submitted to determine our pure pupil cost, right? They have to audit parts of that as well. So that got resubmitted on Monday, because you do have entries that are held up because of the state sometimes. So that got resubmitted on Monday, which was the deadline, February 2nd. And the other, like I said, the other ones, I'm hoping to wrap it up within the next week.
And that's for the audit.
That's for the audit, for last year's audit, yeah.
And the operational review, I know you had originally sent responses in December, and we still had some open items. Are we sort of like,
Did we?
I thought like you had presented that you had responded to John Burt regarding.
All of our responses
Oh, yeah,
went to
we
John.
gave them all of our responses.
Okay, so
yeah.
we're done there.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
yeah,
It
and
was
all
a
the,
full, complete document.
yeah, it was a huge document, and we're still implementing some of the changes because they take time. We did change the EIN number on the food service. That happened January 1st, so that now we only run one payroll, which is more efficient. My staff are excited about that. We just got out the W-2s separately for the last time. Next year, they'll be combined. So, and the food services, I'm working with Ernie to set up his budget in e-finance because it's never been in, like, the expenses are there, but there's no budget. So we're working with Ernie to set up a budget for his program.
And he realizes there's real benefits, that he can really see the accounting going on.
I
Rather than
think
on
it's
his
a
own
big
spreadsheet,
benefit.
it's like through the system.
Well, that way we're in sync with our balances, because I know he does great on keeping track of his balances and reporting to the state, but our system of record is e-finance. That's our official system of record, so we have to be in balance before it's sent to the state. And that's typically done in September. So, next year, like I said, I think it's going to be a lot more, a smoother process. But I don't have any concerns about the operational view as far as, like, implementing stuff. It's just some of it takes time.
Perfect.
I found the email from
Oh, you did?
Steve. Is that his name?
Steve? Yes, that's his name.
He says, sorry for the delayed response. I've been giving this some thought, and these types of presentations are not something we typically provide. We are engaged by the council, and they are charged with governance for the town. Our presentation and reporting are designed specifically for them. Given that much of the Board of Ed activity that we report on is blended into the general fund, excluding grant activity. I don't believe it would be particularly beneficial to the Board of Ed. I'm happy to discuss it further if that would be helpful. So,
That makes sense. Do they give a presentation to the town
Yeah.
that you guys can watch? Because typically we would go to the town's meeting to watch the
and that's
presentation.
what John's response was. Maybe what we can do is solicit questions from the Board of Ed following the presentation to the council, and then ask the
That makes sense.
auditors to provide a written response. But I did try, Jen.
That does make sense when you read it.
So that makes sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But we do pay for some of the audit. I mean, it is, in my opinion, yes, it's the town's audit because it's the town financials. It's not our financials. It's theirs. But we're included in them because all of our funding goes through them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when we have munis, it's going to be much more unified. Yeah. And I think easier to
We won't be balancing
sending
books
memos back and forth.
separately.
Yeah.
And we won't be sending memos, and we won't be, everything will be entered on our side. They won't have to enter it on their side.
Is it typical for school systems to pay for half of the audit?
And I don't know the exact amount, I just know that our,
We pay some portion.
yeah, I'm saying half, I don't know what the percentage is. It could be, and we even paid for, in Wyndham, we paid for the audit, portion of the audit. That was, I don't know how they determined it, to be honest. And we paid for the portion of Munis, and we paid 60% of Munis because we do have more accounts, we do have more grants and things like that, and our payroll is larger, much larger, right? So we are utilizing the system a little bit more than the town typically.
Well, I'm thankful for John. He did try.
I'm glad.
Thank you, John.
I forgot about that, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how long it'll take them to issue the actual financial statements if their deadline is the 28th. So it takes time to issue them.
And you also completed our filing for the state, the
Yeah, that was on
EFS,
Monday.
so that was,
Yeah,
did a
so
lot
we're-
this week.
And
Lot going on.
January is a very busy month.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So we have an update on the audit operational review filing for the state. Any other reports or that we had filed or will be filing?
I mean, W-2s are done,
Yeah, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Make sure
January is a
it's
very
everywhere.
busy month, and because my staff, it's their first year round, I'm happy that we got them filed on time.
I know, thank you. Thank you to your team, right?
Yes.
So this is, the next item is something new that I added, and I'll keep on the agenda both for you and Sam. It's not to monitor your hiring, it's not to do anything. I just need to, I would like us to understand that you guys are fully staffed and that you have the resource, or not, that you have the resources to be able to function as a business office and as a facilities organization, because it's important. These are two very large organizations, right? Not in terms of size or people, but in scope of what we do. So I just want to make sure that staffing updates. So with Rita.
No, I agree
Yeah.
that it's good to know that if so right now, I still have a position open. We're interviewing next week for candidates. But in the meantime, we've had a temp person, but because I created this, moved this position to a supervisor position, the temp person is not eligible. So hopefully, I'm hoping to interview next week and start the process and find a good candidate. I'm excited.
You wanted somebody more with an accounting, right?
I really want somebody with accounting background and not so much supervisory, but accounting background so they can help me approve entries, make sure the entries are flowing and payroll's flowing okay, the encumbrances look okay, because it's a constant review because things change every day. So that's typically what my assistant in Wyndham did. It helped with the approvals because the volume is large. So we just got to make sure we're monitoring it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, do you have anything else to share, or are you done?
No.
Perfect, thank you. Sam, we're moving over to Director of Facilities. This is something that Susan had sent an email on.
Jose, Susan, can Rita go? Are you all done?
Yeah.
Rita?
Oh, I can go?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you,
That's exciting.
yeah.
how about this? I'll flip finance and facilities every month, so this way you guys can take turns.
You want to do CV roof first before we go? Make sure we're good with
You're
that.
going to give an update on the CB roof, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I could do that, just so that, you know, you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you,
My
Rita.
husband would be happy to see you.
Good night. Thank you, Rita.
So I know Susan had sent an email regarding wanting to share updates regarding STEAM, so I added this to the agenda. Susan, if you would like to take the lead, or Sam?
Well, we can kind of in tandem. As you know, we've got the robotics team all moved in because they had the Panero Bread event tonight. I was able to get over there, see the kids and the parents, and get a sandwich before for dinner. But just checking in with them. They're very excited about building this robot. They're there every Saturday and Sunday. I mean, these kids work so hard, and they love their space. I know that we still have some cleanup to do in the wood shop, and that we need to have happen sooner than later, especially with this project with EB. And then we have a retirement of a teacher who has a room right by the auto shop. And it's very convenient, and it's almost like a three different room classroom. It's like a double classroom, and it has like a green screen. So between having the space for auto shop, the wood shop cleaned up, and this space, and then the auto shop, it's going to be very conducive for classroom robotics, machining, and then after school with the robotics team. And with the support of EB, we're going to be getting more milling machines and Bridgeport mills. I'm learning all this technology. And of course, our robotics team has some really good equipment that they've gotten through fundraising. So I know that one of their questions was, if they've got a project and they're in the middle of the project, they don't want anybody touching it. And so that's with enough equipment to do that, and then to also have courses. And maybe we start small with one robotics class. We put it out there, we try it out, one machining class, and then have it grow. But already some kids were talking about, are we going to have that class for next year? So I know that's going to be going through curriculum, but very excited about it. And, talking to the parents and the grandparents there, too. They're very excited to have them back at Fitch. So thank you, Board of Ed.
Beverly?
Sam, in that wood shop room, are you going to keep the tables? What are the tables?
The benches, yeah,
Yeah,
the
they've
work
got
benches are
great
going to
benches.
stay, yeah,
You're going to keep all that?
yeah.
Okay.
They'll be able to assemble. There are things they need to assemble, so those benches will come in handy for them for assembling some of the stuff that they're going to do down there.
You got your work cut out for it.
Otherwise,
Mm.
yeah. So you may have seen that the parking lot between the high school and the middle school, there's a container there. That's the robotics container,
That's a big one.
a storage container. 4 doors on the side, so easy access rather than piling in from one end and never be able to get the stuff at the other end of the container. Wasn't cheap, but it was well worth the money, that's for sure. And then again, they have more storage space at the other end of the building, down by the athletic director's office, which is straight down Main Street past the bank, all the way down to the bottom of the ramp. There's a couple of smaller storage spaces down there that they're
got the aluminum
taking
door,
advantage
right?
of. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we painted the door aluminum quite a few years ago. So,
Now, the culinary was still in there. They were cleaning out, but have they completed that job? Because I know they want to finish moving into.
most of the stuff I saw in there the last time I was in there was robotic stuff. So
Okay.
I
We'll have to
think
double check.
there wasn't
We're
too
going over
much
there
left
tomorrow.
in there.
Yeah.
But, we'll verify that too.
Yep.
So it looks like they're in good shape regarding space and stuff. I know you mentioned milling machines. Are these large? are these large machines? Would we be able to fit them in the garage or at the wood shop, the former wood shop space?
Well, I think we're good.
No, milling machine will be going into the garage
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, you want all your machining. I learned
Overlays,
this. You don't want wood
overlays, and
mixing
milling
with
machines.
machines.
Oh, okay.
And we don't want welding machines mixing with wood either.
No. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure like how big these milling machines are and if we had enough room, because the last photo that I saw looked like it.
They 5-6 feet wide,
Okay.
yeah. So they're pretty sizable equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess Robotics and Manufacturing Center, I mean, we sort of both talked about that, unless there's more you want to add.
Other than the fact that we have a meeting coming up, right? Is it tomorrow?
I sent out a Zoom link, but I'm going to go over to the high school because I want to check on things.
Yeah,
What you expect, you inspect.
Is this tomorrow with
With-
Pete?
with
Yeah. Lori Ferguson.
Ferguson.
And there's going to be some people from UConn, URI. We've got a whole committee and some of our own people, our own staff. So, and then a couple people from EB that, are going to be looking at the facility. And
So if everything is like a go, like what is your timeline?
So I just talked to them about that today. They're getting ready to release funding soon. So I think within a week, I'll be able to come with you with, their written proposal and, and my memo, explaining it. And I worked with them on wordsmithing that. So it's going to move along pretty soon. And I know that Anne Marie's going to be, we've already looked at several curriculum. We're going to talk about curriculum tomorrow. But First Robotics has actual robotics curriculum that we might start by using. Project Lead the Way also has a robotics, and Gabe Mortali, who's one of the teachers at Fitch, awesome teacher, and he uses the VEX robotics work, and the VEX is something that fits, it's a smaller little robot. And so sometimes those are fun too for the kids' tabletop robots. They don't take up as much space. So at least during the day when you're learning, that might be a good thing to do. So so we're moving along, thinking of everything, and we do have another presentation that I want to bring to the board, so it'll probably be timely when we've gotten the, release of the funds and, bring to you this part, and we'll go from there.
So,
And then we'll do the hoop thing, go see the town council, go see the RTM. I've already primed the RTM, though, and the town council. But the RTM seemed very excited about the whole idea of career pathways and how we can even get college credit for some of these things. So,
And we can, you can, I'll be there with you,
Yeah.
but update them when we go there next Wednesday.
yeah, that's right.
and as we're putting this together and reviewing everything, as in support of facilities, Sam, just make sure that if we need to add like temporary staff to support your team, like let's consider that too, so that not everything is on the back of our current staff.
Right.
Thank you. Are we good with STEAM, Susan? I know you're
Yeah.
one. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we're good.
CB replacement?
So-
Okay.
We've got the contact from the State Department. Joyce is preparing a phone call, so Sam and Rita and I can sit down and talk to her, maybe even a Zoom link. I've asked her to send out a Zoom link, so I'm hoping that happens. I asked her to get that done this week, because they really need to then get on. Even Joyce tried to help us with submitting some of the paperwork, and there's just 2 little things that she earmarked that need to be corrected. So hopefully, 5th time is a charm. So, but I think by having her support and saying exactly what needs to happen first before we get someone behind a computer to upload it, so it will be helpful.
I'm not aware, I've never met this person. I've met most of the people in that office.
Her
I'm
name's
not
Heather.
familiar with that name, so over the years, she wasn't in that office previously. But she's given us a list of things that we need to take care of, and,
I think it's just, well, now we're down to 2.
yeah.
But we've had to take back agendas to the town council to have things redone, that they didn't come in exactly, she was asking for all kinds of things around the CIP and when we got the CIP and what did the funding say, and then so yeah, she's been,
And how close are you to getting all this done?
well, we're going to have the phone call this week, and there's two items, so I just want to understand those two items, so when we put it in this time, it's done.
And once you get all the items in and everything you need to do submitted to the state, how long before you get a response?
Once we get everything in, then they will schedule a meeting when we will go up there and sit face-to-face with them around the table and go over all the items and make sure everything's clear. And then they'll give us permission to go out to bid. So we'll go out to bid at that point. The architect will write up the bid specs. It'll go out to bid, and hopefully we can get that done in the next month or so, because you get much later than that, you're not going to get people to do a roof this coming summer, so...
So we're on it.
And that's a roof that I've done roofs before in schools with, while school's going on, but this particular school is not built like that. You couldn't conduct elementary classes with a roof that is, well, like this building. That roof is right,
And the
2
smell.
feet above those panels there, and those are not, they might deaden some sound, but, yeah, no, it's pretty loud when they're drilling screws in the metal and stuff, so. So it really needs to be done outside of school hours, summer project. So that's our goal. That's what we're working toward, and as long as it moves forward, we're here. There's a shot at it, but again, the timeline is it's closing in on us.
The goal's 2026 summer, hopefully.
Yeah.
I hope so, because I've been on the board now within 2 years, and I think we've been talking about it for 2 years, so, yeah, hopefully there's no water coming through yet. Not through.
I'm not aware of any new leaks, but
He knows about the old ones.
So,
Snow hasn't melted.
I know, that's the thing.
there's 2 feet of snow on that roof, right?
yeah. So, okay. thank
It's
you
too
for-
cold for the leaks. Let's hope for a long winter.
So, perfect. So I'll keep that on the agenda for next time, whether we have information or just basically provide us an update with, like, the meeting. Or even if you want, you could just to this small group, right, send us an email of, like,
Yeah,
hey, like,
it's
how our
done.
meeting went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. I'll put it in a boy note. Guess what? They finally did it.
You already did it. Jay will be very happy.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Are you there, Jay? You hear us? Hooting and hollering about a roof.
So this one is a specific item because we received an email. I think, Adrian, you had forwarded the email, and this was also an item from when Beverly and I visited last time, but I know that the situation was fixed. It looks like you guys took a tour of all of the facilities in Fitch, and if you
Yeah,
could
I
give
sh-
us an update on that.
I should have
that'd be
sent this, I probably should have sent this into
great. Okay.
Caitlin, but I didn't. But you can share my phone here for a second. You see some of the pictures of the ceiling tiles and, of course, some of the urinals and/or toilets that might be covered up because the biggest reason that those are blocked off is because somebody's taking their vacant items and tossed them down the toilet and clogged them up with the vacant items.
So
I don't
how?
know what else
Need to
to
put
call it.
screens over the drains and the toilets, right?
Oh no. This is like,
We have them in the urinals, but they take them out of there and throw them out too, so they
Oh, really?
the stuff down through.
Great.
I don't know, they must push them down too.
So I know, was it like a year or 2 years ago, we put like some vaping detector? Or is that not?
Was in there, but the administrator turned them off because they were having to go down.
Are these similar?
Well, I asked about that, Sam. They said they did not. They were.
They're off.
Oh.
And the administration turned them off. I didn't turn them off.
They turn off the vape detectors?
Yes.
Is that them? Is that one?
That's not the
Is that ceiling tile?
It's showing a ceiling tile out, but it's a vape detector.
What's doing with this toilet?
Probably leaking around the base.
Yeah. Our decent toilets are,
How do we get the whole vintage wing redone?
Well, I do have some questions while we're talking about Fitch.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I heard.
Is it okay?
Our
It sounds
auditorium.
like keeping up with vaping is just an unrealistic, like something that would be great, but unrealistic. So, just for my kids that go into the bathrooms and tell me about what
Have a
happens.
cleaning person in there at all times, a woman in the girls' room and a guy in.
Oh, yeah.
Do the security guards frequently go in the, well, this isn't really your, that's.
Yeah, they and the admin do.
I've gone to the lavatories that are right across from the cafeteria. They didn't realize I was going to go in there, but, so this wasn't this time. It was, I don't know, last month or sometime. I'm walking down the hallway, I decided to check out the lavatory. I walked in and there was like, they all started scrambling. Everybody's running out of the bathroom. They didn't know who the heck. They weren't sure who I was, but they weren't getting caught. I could tell I was.
They
knew you
didn't call
weren't
you
a
Santa?
student.
They didn't call you Santa?
No. If anybody does, I'm going to shave it tomorrow. I'm waiting till we go to the town council with the budget because I'm told that people trust people with a beard more than they do people without a beard.
oh, I don't know how we're gonna fix this, Sam. Like, are we like gonna fix each toilet? Like,
My plumber's working on it. He was up there again today. Ceiling tiles are being replaced. The ceiling tiles get punched out on a daily basis up there in these lavatories, so, yeah.
The kids blow the vape into the ceiling so it doesn't stink.
oh,
That's what I've heard.
Yep.
okay.
And the girls' bathrooms, some of the girls' bathrooms are as bad as the boys.
Well, I get just as many girls as boys up here for vaping. If it's
Probably,
drugs.
yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Not if, and I don't have a whole lot. I've got like a handful, like 4.
Yeah.
Do you have any solutions?
Other than the cleaning person being in the lavatories? I don't know what else you could do. I think at one time they had a sign-out sheet so that they knew when
Now
somebody was...
they have it electronically, so they know where every kid is. That's how they sometimes find them.
But the problem is, you need somebody to go... I don't know who the people are going to be to do it, but you need somebody to go in there every 15 minutes or every half hour or something, see if something happened during that period, and then you have those kids on the list, and you call them down one at a time or whatever, but like they used to call us down back in the old days.
So do the security people monitor the bathrooms?
Yeah,
still?
they're all over the place. Yeah, he's got them stationed, and he closes some of the bathrooms. Like during, I think the lunch wave, they close the one right there because it's kind of problematic. The one right across from, and then they have to go down either hallway to one of those bathrooms.
But it's a continuing battle. My plumber could work full-time just pulling, it's quite a job to pull one of those, most of them are wall hung, so to pull them off, to pull all the vaping stuff out of them, reseal them, put them back together, so that's an ongoing battle.
And there's nothing we can.
Put paper receptacles so they can at least throw them in a...
Yeah.
It was easier back when they smoked, right? Those things just flushed right down.
I don't know. I always thought if we posted a note in there that says, we don't think it's a good thing for you to do, some words, not these words, but we don't think it's a good, healthy thing for you to be doing, but if you're going to do it, please put your items in this receptacle here. And they would probably do that if you did that, but then you get accused of encouraging it, I guess, if you know, but I don't, there's no easy answer.
Can you put like a sign, this area is monitored by severe video screen?
I think we get in big trouble for that.
I didn't say put the surveillance up, just put the sign there.
Right.
Back in the day when I was like at Pitch, there was like just a smoking hill, and people
Oh, yeah,
went
we
out
had
there
that.
to.
Oh, they allowed it, while you were there, they were allowing the smoking?
I don't know if it was allowed
I think-
or. They
It was out where the
just
greenhouse,
went out there.
I think it was out by the greenhouse, out in that area, right, where the greenhouse is now. It wasn't there then, right?
So not that I'm encouraging smoking or anything.
Right. But if you're going to do it outside, don't do it in the lavatory. Nice. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what the right answer
Is
is.
vaping like smoking, or is it like, it makes them high?
It depends on what kind of vape they got.
Oh,
The one with those fancy little leaves is the one that they shouldn't have.
I think they're
They
different.
really-
Are
the others
they,
have
are they
nicotine.
different flavors too? Are they different flavors?
Yeah, they.
Oh, yeah, they're marketed for kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's like flavored nicotine or could be cannabis or whatever.
I haven't smelled the pot up there that much, not that often. but-
because it's sugar coated, right? Don't they flavor that too?
I don't know. The vaping that I see kind of dissipates pretty quickly. It's like steam almost. And it dissipates pretty quickly, but
okay.
That's too bad.
Thank you to your staff for continuing this uphill battle.
How many bathrooms is this happening in? Just that one?
oh no, it's all over the building.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Did you ever find that place that the teachers were saying doesn't lock?
The what?
A door that doesn't lock. They're worried about in the locker room that there's spaces where they
Yeah, they actually repaired the lock today, I was told, so.
Do you know, like in the new wing, I'm going back to the bathrooms, like there are no doors, like I think you just sort of walk through.
There are some without doors, yes.
Do we see less of the vaping issue in those?
No, but people complain about privacy, so we had some old stock that we're repainting and putting in, so I don't know if we've run out of those yet or not, but
Because I was just thinking,
To put
you know,
new
it's like
doors?
the airport.
the doors get ripped off. The kids have ripped the doors right off, too. I don't know. It's,
Yeah, but in the airports, they have that. In a lot of
Yeah, you
places,
just
they have
like-
that. You just go in.
Yeah,
No privacy there.
like that, because they can't smoke, probably, or vape or whatever.
I don't know if I don't think I have a picture. This is the honest goodness truth. We went into a stall, and there was a tray with a milk carton and what was left of the salad sitting on the toilet paper holder in this stall.
They were having a little light lunch.
I never saw anything like it in my life. I guess somebody wanted privacy for their lunch, but geez,
Oh, goodness.
I don't think there was a picture in here for that one. But
No, it's separate.
So we have no solutions for this.
I think the vape detectors were working when they were paying attention to them.
I think it's manpower.
Didn't the kids break the vape detectors right out of the gates?
Or some of those were broken right away too. Yeah,
Yeah.
they smashed them.
So is there a way to cover them? So they, I don't know.
Well, like some of the fire alarms, we have a little cage. And then they take a paper towel and cover it with a paper towel, so, I don't know.
So while we're on Fitch, I think there were some issues with like exterior windows and basically like rotting window frames.
Yeah, in the media center and the art wing, so it's in that courtyard area, most of it.
The
Yeah.
vintage side.
So I'm hoping to put together something for next year in the CIP for that.
Because that building is a shelter, right? So that building should theoretically be windproof to whatever hurricane, is that correct? That the building envelope was built to be, that's like an evacuation?
The new portion of the building is, but not what we call the vintage area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Those are the
So if the building is-
those are the original windows. If you go down to the business wing and look out those windows toward the greenhouse, those are the original windows for those buildings.
What about the cap? Was that built a little
A
later?
lot of that is, some of that is all original windows too.
So it goes back as old as
Oh, yeah.
that vintage one?
Well, it was there when I was there.
Because the cap doesn't look as bad to me.
So if that building is used as an emergency shelter,
Yep.
they would just be using the new portion of the building?
The times that it's happened, I think there was a hurricane and a blizzard. A couple of times since I've been here, it was used. And the Red Cross came, and we had cots set up in the main hallway, what they call the flag hallway. So they had cots and everything there because there were receptacles to charge things there and everything, and then they could use the lavatories just in the new wing of the building. So cafeteria was set up so that you could go down and eat and stuff there, but the rest of the building wasn't really used. I don't think there were that many people there, but I know we manned it 24 hours. I know that, but I don't think that many people came.
Well, it probably depends, but we haven't had a
Yeah,
direct hit
right.
for how long?
We almost did this week. We avoided that one, so.
I wouldn't know what I would have done with the snow, the additional snow that would came in.
So thank you for the update. Like I said, thank you to your staff for trying to keep up with this. And, Beverly,
Were
sorry.
you talking about the windows? What were you talking about, Ethan?
Yeah, well, I was asking about the windows, because I was partially wondering if those windows, because I've seen pictures of how rotted out the frames are, that they're not going to be, they don't meet any kind of wind rating anymore. So they would need to be replaced if that was an evacuation space. It would be my guess. I shouldn't say that I understand that. But,
Well, what about the doors, Sam? Because on this sheet here, it says exterior doors in vintage area
Yep.
on Roddick, across from bank, exit near the tennis courts.
Yeah, I think, is the estimate for that on that list too?
Yeah,
30?
20,000 to 30,000.
Yeah.
To replace them. Okay.
And they need to be replaced. That's what should be done. We've patched them so many times, you can't keep patching them forever. But yeah, a lot of the reason for that happening is because we use so much ice melt or salt, and it just rots away the bases of the doors, the jambs on the doors and the bottoms of the doors. But it's like the roads, right? People got to get out and get in, and
Well, is that
it's
a...
cheaper to replace doors every 20 years than it is for one kid to fall down and sue the town
Yeah.
and really get hurt too.
To replace these doors is a big must, that we must do it.
It should be done sooner rather than later, yeah.
Did you put it in your budget somewhere?
There is replacement money there, but as the year goes on, other priorities come up that need to be fixed right away, so I don't know if we'll get to it next year or not, but I hope to.
I don't know, but as part of the tracker, I don't know if we need to just set aside, how much do you have in the maintenance fund? Because we may need to reevaluate how much is in there so that for unexpected stuff and then for regular operational things that we're going to...
Well, I just lost $100,000 out of it for some of the testing, so that we could get that percentage down so it's more palatable to the town. And I think when I went through my budget, I was just trying to get back. I'm trying to incrementally over the next couple of years get back to where we were. So most of my stuff was only increased 3.5% to 4%, maybe 4.5% at most, depending upon what it was. But the total budget came out to a lot more than that, so I'm sure we're going to get whacked again before we're done.
But we, so this is like some of the things we need to talk about, right? Like, if we do small maintenances and we keep up with it, in my opinion, it'll be cheaper than like neglecting it for 5 to 10 years and then having to replace the whole thing. So, we can make a case, and I know it's going to be hard, but we always need to have like a set amount
maybe X percent of the budget, and maybe we as a team can like put that on the agenda when we try to determine, you know, might be too late for this one, but for definitely for next year, X percent of the budget should always be for maintenance, so that, you know, when the principals came in, you know, just like painting, right, fresh coat of paints in the school, whatever, new chairs, new desks, for some of the stuff. So that we will always have something so that our schools are well maintained, as you all know. So maybe that could be one of the things that we as a committee can look at and make a case for.
Maybe allocating money and not touching it for anything
Exactly.
else.
Exactly.
I think that's what Jen's talking about.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
And like, yeah, like basically, like you submit your budget, like, let's say we set aside, just so I know, this is like a fictitious number, like 10,000, just so that like people don't think we know it's going to be more than that. That this is what I'm going to use the 10,000 for, and that they can't move it. So I'll make sure.
Yeah. Well, the windows that Adrian brought up are going to be a major CIP project that is going to require not only the replacement of the windows, but it's also an asbestos abatement project at the same time, because a lot of the caulking in those old windows is asbestos containing. So it becomes a pretty large project. That's why we want to try and get it in for next year's CIP.
Well, my thoughts with the whole, like, using that building as an evacuation center is if the town wants to use those spaces for emergency evacuation, who's got stronger, you know, to ask for the money for the CIP to say that we're trying to make it safer for emergency sort of like situations as well as for students.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it's a good point.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for the support. And you heard what I told Rita, so staffing, how are you doing on staffing?
Yeah, I could. We just hired another person to replace somebody's gone, and we could really use two more in the department.
Two more maintenance? Or?
Two more maintenance, yeah, two more. Yeah, first of all, the custodian is an ongoing thing. We're always looking for custodians because some of them don't stay that long, and we do part-time custodians too, and some of those are the ones that turn over pretty quickly. So Charlie's always advertising for that, trying to get custodians, mostly part-timers. We advertised for a locksmith. I lost my locksmith, retired. We advertised for almost a full year, didn't get one application, so we changed that to a regular maintenance person and got somebody. So at some point, I'm going to be sitting down with Lori and talking to her about locksmith again and a boiler tech, because I have a part-time boiler tech is what I have, and he's out on medical right now. So the person who runs the computer system for the heating and air conditioning is doing a lot of that work, along with my plumber is also very knowledgeable in natural and propane gas units. So
Is he full-time now, or is he part-time?
my plumber and the DDC guy, both of those guys are full-time. My boiler tech is the part-timer, but he's out hurt, or sick, or...
And we've needed him.
Well, we muddled through. We muddled through. There have been a couple of times we had to call in the New England Mechanical when it was over our head, but
And you have someone you can go to for locks.
What's that?
You had said you had someone you go to for locks.
Well, there are locksmiths in the area that we can use to get some of this stuff done, and we have there's a door guy from Providence we've been doing business with for a long time, and he has lock sets and stuff too that he can help us with. So,
Is it enough work for a full-time, like, locksmith?
well, we have a plumber, we have a heating guy, we have, all of these guys have, not all of them, a lot of them have specialties. We have a machinist, but that isn't the only thing they do. They also, our maintenance people also fill in for custodians when head custodians are out during the day. So almost every day, at least one of our maintenance guys is going to fill in at one of the schools for a custodian who's out. So they also do custodial duties and/or plowing. Often we're asked to move stuff from one school to another. We'll send a team to with the big truck to move stuff from one building to the other. Summertime, they'll jump in on big projects, whatever it might be. And I think Ben just suggested that he wants to get a pergola for one of the schools. I think I'm trying to. Mystic River, was it, I think? But,
Yeah, they have a grant.
so I said, yeah, get it, please, because we'd like to build that this summer. But that would be a fun project we could do, but I also caution that, it has to come when we have the availability to do it, so. But,
Do your maintenance guys complain when they have to fill in for custodian?
some do. Most of them understand. I mean, they know it when they come here,
Okay.
but it's still not preferred duty when you have other things to do. So, and sometimes one person has to do it more often than somebody else, because each day when we get the calls early in the morning, we get them at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and our guys meet at 7. So we've already got the day's work written up. So if there are critical things that need to be done by the plumber, he's not going to be filling in today, even though it might have been his turn. It might be the next time he's going to fill in. So sometimes people have to do it two times in a row or whatever. But
So it looks like you have a need for 2 maintenance, right? And then a locksmith,
So that's one of the maintenance.
one of the maintenance.
yeah, locksmith is the maintenance person. Yep.
And potentially another boiler, or, because he's
Yeah, I don't-
fine.
Is he going to be back?
Full-time, they need a full-time.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's why I got to do something about it. He was only available part-time, so
And always custodian.
he's retired from the state, from Yukon, so he could only work part-time anyways, and now he's out hurt or sick or,
You might have to post for that position full-time.
yeah.
Thank you. We'll try whatever to support, going back to the meeting earlier, which had mentioned during the CFLE, let's start utilizing LinkedIn, Indeed. Those are more of the professional, but there's probably a comparable platform where we could start. So that, let's work with Lori to try to get.
And actually, there are a lot of calls for boiler techs and things like that on LinkedIn too. Actually, yeah, I've seen quite a bit on there, but Lori does a pretty good job of getting it out to a lot of different places.
How many custodians do you need? Do you know what?
I don't think right at the moment we have full-timers that we need, but I'm pretty sure I don't know what the number is, but it's an ongoing thing to replace the part-timers. So there might be one.
People don't want to work part-time, they want full-time positions?
I think, yeah, they're looking for, a lot of times they're looking for full-time, and this is available now, so they take it, and then they might still be applying elsewhere, looking for a full-time job, so we get a lot of that, too, with the part-timers.
Is there a reason why we don't have them as full-time?
Yeah, that's the reason.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Because we don't have it in the budget to do it that way. So, in part-timers, not all of it, it's only 20 hours a week versus the 35 or 40 hours a week.
Yeah, because you're right, usually people work part-time for, okay, I want to save for a house, I work part-time,
Yep.
or I need a full-time job, like you said, when I work part-time, I get something.
Maybe we can help you, or you can work with Susan or Rita cost of a part-time versus a full-time, right? Because what's happening is if we're taking maintenance people, right? And so now we're like not doing jobs to maintain our schools. And so it might be worth an investment as a full-time custodian, because then we're not taking our maintenance resources, because if it's going to fix that issue, so we need to sort of start looking to see, okay, we don't have it because from a budget perspective, but it might actually be costing us more, because now we're
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fix that problem, because we don't have that many daytime custodians. We have head custodians in all the buildings, at least one custodian in all the buildings. And then the high school and the middle school have middle school has an additional full-time custodian, and the high school has an additional head custodian and a groundskeeper who also fills in as a custodian. So, but between people being sick and vacations, personal time, it's almost a daily occurrence that somebody has to fill in somewhere. There aren't that many days when somebody doesn't have to fill in somewhere.
I'll be honest, like if that were me, I wouldn't like it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was hired,
To do maintenance. And then when I'm doing somebody else's job, I gotta come back and do my own job.
and then my own job's not getting filled. That's why I was just saying, like, maybe it's worth looking into, and if, it's just something for,
Well, Charlie, who's our runner, who is our custodial supervisor, has been asking. We talked about it, and we decided we would advertise for daytime fill-in custodians who would be on call to come in and help during the daytime, which would help the maintenance staff. If we can get a part-timer to come in for 4 hours, then they come in during the biggest problem is the lunch wave, right? It's not the morning, it's the lunch wave. So we can get a part-timer to come in through the 3 or 4 hours of the lunch wave. It would help alleviate the problem of maintenance people having to go out, not doing their maintenance work today, but doing the custodial work. But I went through the same thing in Ledger too. It's the most cost-effective way of doing the job. Having them, having maintenance people fill in for custodians rather than having a whole lot of additional custodians that you're paying as well. So.
We could tap into the bus drivers in the middle of the day.
I was just thinking that, Adrian. I was just saying, that would be a great job for us, bus driver, drive the bus, go do some work, go back and get on the
I
bus.
think the bus drivers had enough of those kids by the time they drop them off in the morning. They could use the 6-hour break.
Or we go back to what Dean had said, like when he visited, was it Korea, that they cleaned their own rooms? The students cleaned their own.
Yeah, make students.
Yeah, NFA had what they called custodian boys. They had kids that they hired at the end of the day would go around cleaning classrooms and stuff. You're talking about dust mopping and, washing desks off or washing the chalk. Well, no more chalkboards. But,
Jen, do you mind if we go back to Fitch? I just had one other question.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So the drains in the culinary rooms, I've heard that those overflow somewhat frequently. Is that am I in the right area that they flood out?
I've never heard that.
I haven't heard it.
The sink?
Well, they have the new sinks. Did those ever get put in?
No, those things are not good for you.
I asked for that. They have brand new sinks from Perkins.
They're not in? Are you sure?
Okay.
I reminded.
That's what I heard.
Oh, I'm writing it in capital letters tonight.
Check with,
I'll have to check on that, Adrian.
I just heard
I might have
of
misspoke.
some issues with the sink in the culinary room flooding often, and the teacher having to deal with emptying or something like that.
and they have brand new sinks you pay for them with Perkins money. So,
Yeah, they have brand new sinks, because when Jenna went there, last year, they said they had brand new sinks, but they're not in it.
I have a picture of this thing. Water underneath it. I can show you.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I'll look at it so I can see if I know where it is.
This is from like a month ago. You know which one that is?
Nope.
What did it say?
It's in Mrs. Fougier's class, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so that, well, you can see there's a bucket to catch water underneath the P-trap.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Can
It's on the
I just
list.
go over some of the things from the GEA meeting? Where you talked about the locker room, and you said the doors were fixed in the locker room, right, Sam?
The lock was taken care of today. I hope it's the only one I'm aware of, so I hope it's correct. But I know that Tom, our maintenance coordinator, was working with Mr. Romano, who knows exactly what the problems were. So I know at least one lock was done today. If there are more, they're going to continue until it's done. But
Because also in the music room, they said the door does not lock.
in the music room, you know,
The band room or the music room?
I wrote down the music room.
The music room, I think, is the one near the library.
yeah, it's the one that right. It's adjacent to those double doors. You know what? I don't think I asked them what lock they were working on. So it could have been for the music room, or it could have been for the locker room. I'm not sure, but I'll double check tomorrow.
Okay. What about the intercom? Was that in high school?
That's Dr. Peter was working on that.
You went down there?
He's working on it.
That's the project, that's at 76. Piece of equipment that they replaced, and I think he has one more phase to do, so it's, I think, the third floor.
So is that close area, or is it intercom and the sound stuff?
We do that stuff. I thought Clint was working on that. So
This was the meeting last week with the GA, and we talked about it. And the same thing like CK, they can't hear it in the gym cafeteria.
We talked about those blue lights, remember, Steve? Those blue lights, it's not because they can't hear. So I don't know where we find those blue lights, but is that something the fire department knows?
I found it before, so I guess I can find it again.
And the same thing in the middle school, they said the AV studio, the black box there, and the kitchen, they can't hear.
Those lights, there's a little personal lights right there. Is there going to be, I'm going to write those up and take them up, and I'm going to have somebody, can I
Just make a copy.
Can I have a copy of it?
Yeah. We can make it.
We should actually put it in the tracker.
So the PA says on the third floor, it sounds like it's a lot of rooms, a whole section, a whole hallway. So it seems like we don't want to just wait for the potential CIP.
I have to talk to Dr. Kennedy about it and make sure. If it's on our side, it seems like they're between his staff and my staff, and they coordinate pretty well between the two of them, so I'll have to double check on that and see where we are with that.
I get a picture of my notes and listen. Every meeting,
There should be a tracker somewhere. I really heard that, what show command is like a teacher will report it to the administrator will put it on Google Sheet or something like that. So to me, it's still a little unclear how that works.
Otherwise, I would remind them, and tell them to look it over, and send them along, and Sam, and say, we'll see you ready.
And so my understanding from the meeting was that the teachers record the stuff they do.
If they report it to the administrator, or the teacher will report it to the custodian, the head custodian, they'll put a work order to my department. And their coordinators, or the custodian or the maintenance, will sign it and take care of it. But as far as the intercom system, I know my alarm guy, Joe Montgomery, does a lot of work with the intercom systems. So
does Andy, the tech guy.
right, that's what I'm saying. Our departments work together on a lot of that stuff, so I'll have to see where it is. I don't know. I didn't hear about it. I mean, I heard about it before, but I thought Clinton had it taken care of. But
Well, there's this last piece that he's got it fixed.
it may be something different than what we're talking about. So,
Well, I'll send this to you.
but it's the third floor.
Yeah, the third floor. One of the suggestions was to put dates on the Google Docs. So, who is...
I looked at them.
Who's looking at the Google Docs? They want to know who put the dates on the Google Docs when the work is complete.
We work in work orders, and work orders down our department, so they have to get it to the custodian, he's got to get it in as a work order.
Okay.
That's the process, so.
And how often do you look at the Google Docs? That was one of their questions.
I don't look at Google Docs.
Who looks at
We
it?
work at work orders, we do work orders every day.
Sam, we had to, with reminders, we sat, you and I and Lauren, to really make sure that if things haven't been done and the principal's reporting that we have to go back and give them an update, so.
Is there a way to put the work orders on a Google Doc? Like, okay, so Jen puts in a work order to the custodian. You put a date on that work order. It goes into a Google Doc. When it's completed, then you put completed by so-and-so date. It's almost, you remember what I said? It's almost like, when I see you going into the ladies' room and, who's cleaning the bathroom at 4 o'clock, and every 4 hours somebody has to go in and clean the bathrooms. And that will give us a better tracking sheet, too.
The teacher doesn't put in the work order. Generally speaking, what would happen is if a teacher has a problem or notices something, they will either verbally tell the head custodian or write an email to the head custodian. The head custodian then sends in a work order to our desk, either the maintenance for Tom or the custodial work for Charlie. But we look at that every morning before our morning meeting in case there's something that needs to be taken care of
And I think
immediately.
I'm thinking that might be where the breakdown is between the teacher talks to the head custodian, and the teacher doesn't know if the head custodian put the work order in.
When we had that other
Oh,
system,
that's possible, but
Sam,
that's why they should probably send them an email so they make sure it gets taken care of.
when we had that other system,
We have to have a
what do you
better
call that?
system, I think.
We had another system that was the electronic system.
Yeah,
What was
but-
that called?
Schools do. But it was very expensive, and Clint has created the same thing with our in-house work order. So it's doing the same job without paying thousands of dollars every year for schools to give us a special fund.
Process.
Yeah, maybe we should review the whole process. You don't mind saying. Review the whole process of, what work needs to be done, and if it's, I don't know.
Yeah, because, people
It's easy
are,
to break down for
people are savvy nowadays, so maybe they can input it themselves, or they can call and have somebody input it. I personally would feel better if I input it myself, because then this way I know what's in there and it's starting to get tracked, right? So, this is
Yeah, but the head custodian should know what's going on in his building too.
that's true. Yeah, but he could read.
I think it's hard.
He or she.
Because you have a lot of teachers.
hard, yeah.
You got a lot going on.
Just seems,
It's
yeah,
not
it seems
hard
like
to
a
keep track
fallible
of these
system.
things. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that?
It just seems like a fallible system if it's kind of, like there's not a really good protocol. And I think from the teacher's perspective, so they said something, and a lot of things they were saying have been this way. There's been issues with certain things for years. So if they tell the custodian and then it turns into a work order or turns into a separate discussion, they have no way of knowing what's going on, know.
Yeah, well, I heard about something that has been going on for a couple of years too, but just the other day. But as I would rate that as politely BS, but bologna sandwich. So
I'm sure
there's nothing on the list that goes on for 2 years. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get emails all day long as Tom and Charlie are checking off work orders that are being completed on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're busy.
So moving forward, like, there's like attached, thank you, Sam, for your facilities report. There's the review, the referral tracker. I think we only have 3. Jay, before we move on, are you good? It's okay. Chime in whenever. So in regards to the referral tracking, there's only 3 items here. The 4-month facility plan, sort of mentioned, staffing levels related to the budget, and launching an employee efficiency suggestion campaign. One of the things that's not here, but hopefully, is it at the next COW that they can refer something to us, or is it at the next board, like in regards to that parcel of land that was the next board meeting? Okay.
It will be referred to you.
Okay. And I don't know if there's anything else that we need to start considering. I could put, like, is there any of the 3 that are currently there, what would we like to tackle for next month, or more than one? There's 2 from April, and there was 1 from October.
Well, for this consumption levels relative to the budget,
Yeah.
you don't do that today, then by next month,
Yeah.
we'll have the budget.
Yep.
So,
Sort of just trust that, you put in what you needed at that point.
Put in those numbers. You could always use more, but I put in what
Perfect.
And we went back,
reasonable numbers.
we had sliced a little bit, but we knew that like painting, we rescued that and put that back. Because there are a lot of people want painting. We've got a whole list of what the schools want over the summer, and they're not going to be able to get it all. So he's going to go in and do a walkthrough with probably Charlie or Tom at each school to say, what are the priorities here? But paint is a big thing. A lot of them want the paint.
and also that staffing levels. So the boiler tech, he's already in your budget, but he's part-time.
As a part-timer.
Yeah, so now you want a full-time one. So is that in the budget to up the salary for the?
No, I don't think, I asked Rita if we could put those in, but I don't think they went in before they went into Susan, so I'm going to talk to Rita about it again.
Okay.
That might be like what we did with the teachers who asked for interventionists and stuff. We might have to add that. So we'll have some minuses and we'll have some pluses under each object code.
So you need a full-time boiler tech. And you also say you need 2 more maintenance people.
No, boiler tech would be one of them,
Okay.
and a locksmith or,
Is that in your budget too, or?
no, those are the 2 that I've asked to have in there, so I'm going to check with Rita again.
Okay.
So it's going to go on a tracking device. We're not changing the budget that I set forth. It's going to be changed through this tracker system, and then it becomes the board's budget once they decide what they want to add and subtract.
Yep. Okay. I'll talk to Rita tomorrow,
Yeah,
so
she's
that
got it.
we at least have the
Yeah.
list on the list.
Good.
Launch an employee efficiency suggestion campaign. I think that was Jay. I'm not really sure.
But that was Jay's idea, and the idea was if the employee can give us a suggestion how we can be more efficient, then, you know. I don't know if you wanted to give them a gift card for doing it or what.
Oh,
Jay, you there?
Yes, I am.
yes, so we're going through the Board of Education referral tracking sheet, and you had referred
Right.
something on last October, launch an employee efficiency suggestion campaign. So we might go through that. If we can do it now, fine. If not, we'll do it next month. And I just don't recall what you had in mind, and Beverly was explaining it, but figured since you were there, you might as well chime in.
Yeah, I know it's not on the agenda, so I know we can't get too deep into this, but just
No, it's on-
basically,
The referral tracking sheet?
it's on the referral.
Yes. it's-
Yeah, so we have to go as an agenda item to actually discuss it, but my idea, I actually sent an email out with sample programs from other organizations on how this might be done. But basically, if someone is able to make a suggestion that saves the district money, that we come up with some kind of reward for that, you know. Obviously, we're not going to be like private industry where if they save us $1 million, we're going to cut them a check for $100,000, but, you know, something that's reasonable in a governmental agency, you know, sense. Just to encourage people to be looking for ways, because, you know, for example, just the board itself discovered, you know, we have more postage meters than we would ever need when we don't even mail that much anymore, and yet we're paying for postage meters sitting around paying rental. You know, that's just one small thing. Just imagine how many other things we're leasing, renting, or taking up space, you know, that we could be saving money. But the problem is, as the board, we can't walk through every building and micromanage, and Susan can't either. So let the folks that are there say, hey, we'll use that machine in forever, and yet we're paying somebody for it. So that's the crux of the idea, is get the folks that are working in the district to plan out efficiencies.
We just need to think about that a little bit more. And I think we can discuss it, right, Jay? Because it is number 6. It is on the referral tracking sheet.
No, you're just reviewing it, you know? Yeah. No, you can't. You have to
Okay.
add it to the agenda.
I'll add it to next month's agenda. But thank you for that high-level brief. So the last item is like, is there anything else? No? Do I have a motion? Jay, Adrian?
Motion to adjourn.
Jay?
Second.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.